This is not another gratitude podcast. How are you doing? We have Keith here with us today. We also are joined by a couple other people from our State of Gratitude family, and we're going to be beating bracelets today, right?
You're gonna do great. You're gonna watch me do something. I don't know.
Beads of sweat.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, the first time that I beaded a bracelet, I literally didn't know that these little beads. So we have in front of us like bead spinners, and basically we put the beads inside of the bead spinner. It spins around in circles, and then we kind of catch the beads onto a thread using a needle. And I didn't know that these things existed, so I actually just poured a bunch of beads on a table and just picked them up one by one.
That's what I thought you were gonna have us do today, and I was like really freaked out. When I saw this, it was like a big relief.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
It definitely makes the process a lot easier, for
Yeah.
sure.
He had the patience of a monk.
Me? No.
Yeah, I mean to do it like that.
I was
Yeah.
like, I don't even know how much to charge for this bracelet. I mean, it took me 4 days to make
$7,000.
it. I was like, if it took me 4 days to make this, 8 hours a day for 4 days, I'm like, okay, that's 32 hours. If my time is $100 an hour, then that's $30,200 plus supplies.
Yeah, take out a home equity line of credit on your house to buy the bracelet.
Seriously, but yeah, fortunately enough, it doesn't take that much time because we have these beautiful bead spinners in front of us, and we can actually just put the beads into the bead spinner, and then we can turn it on. It's going to rotate in circles for you, and then you just kind of like collect beads as you go. Like use the needle kind of like as a, like, I don't know, you glide across the top of it.
Yeah.
And everybody likes the shape of their needle a different way. It's kind of like ballet shoes. You know how each ballerina has a very particular shape that they want.
Yeah.
Like I just do mine with a slight hook, like that. But some people like it to be kind of
I
snaky.
like a little bit more of an L.
I like an
hook.
L shape.
Yeah. So
Well, we'll find out.
yeah, exactly.
guess.
Go ahead and turn on the bottom switch. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
You're right-handed, so you want to it to spin counterclockwise.
Okay.
And you want it to go really slow, for obvious reasons.
So that they don't all go flying.
Yeah, essentially.
Is this too slow?
No.
I would go a little slower.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know what?
Wouldn't it be
Go for it.
clockwise?
No.
No.
You just want me to go for it so that
Because I'm a
everybody,
lefty. I
so that the
do,
beads all go flying.
counterclockwise.
I do counterclockwise because it goes like this.
All right,
Huh.
here goes.
Is the needle connected to a thread?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah, we already set it up for him.
Oh, you're lucky.
And I've actually already done it once, but I do need to wear my glasses. I cannot do this without my glasses on. Sorry, guys.
No problem.
Well, fortunately for you, a lot of people are not going to be watching the visual version of this podcast. They'll probably only be listening to it. So unless you told them that you were wearing glasses, which you just did,
I
most
did.
people probably would never even know.
No.
Well, these beads are probably the smallest beads that you can buy, like on the market. They're like literally the smallest beads that you can buy on the market.
Yeah, they're teeny tiny. That's why I was panicked when I thought I had to put them on one by one.
Let me see your glasses. Oh, they're fantastic. Now
Thank
you just look like you're in Weezer. Yeah, that's cool.
Where are you from?
I am from Chicago. I'm from a suburb of Chicago called Highland Park
Okay.
in
Oh.
Illinois.
I think I drove through it one time.
Yeah.
Were you looking for
How was the drive-through?
10 years ago, asking him to be in the podcast?
So no,
Oh my God!
I was
you
driving.
guys, I just dumped all the.
It's all right, Mazel
That
tov.
happens.
Oh Lord. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, please spill the beads. Keep spilling.
Yeah.
So what were you doing driving through Highland Park?
I was actually driving from Minnesota to Chicago, and I think I drove through like Milwaukee,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then Highland Park, and then like Chicago.
Well, Milwaukee and Highland Park are nowhere near each other.
But is Highland Park like on the north side of Chicago?
It is.
So I would have driven through it to get to Chicago, wouldn't I?
Yeah, if you were driving from Milwaukee to Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, then definitely. I mean, I don't know if you would have driven, maybe you would have driven past it, through it, like if you were on the highway.
I got to Chicago during like rush hour, or to that area during rush hour, so I think it had me just take like all local streets.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, I was like,
Highland Park is a very pretty place. It was a wonderful place to grow up.
Chicago is amazing. I mean,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
like it's such a beautiful city.
I used to work for the company that produces Lollapalooza.
Uh-huh.
So I spent many Lollas in Chicago. And it was my favorite time of year to be there.
I lived in Chicago in the months of July to October.
Where did you live?
I lived in Uptown.
Uptown?
Yes.
What is Uptown?
It's a neighborhood.
I've never heard of that. Uptown? No, not Uptown. Uptown.
Uptown. Yeah, it is
Where is
like
it?
right by.
Up.
It's literally up in town. My address was 5009 Sheridan Avenue. I was by I was like south of Andersonville.
Is that by
Sheridan Avenue or Sheridan Road?
Sheridan Road.
Yes, okay.
I was south of Andersonville and north of like Boys Town.
Okay.
Is that by Wrigley?
It's north of Wrigley. It's
Okay.
like the Aragon Theater, Aragon Ballroom.
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell?
Kinda.
Like if there's like a big concert venue,
Yeah.
like up there, indoors. I was walking distance to that place, and apparently like it was famous, allegedly.
I didn't actually I did live in Chicago for about 2 years, but that was the extent of it.
Okay. I was a Hot Mess Express while I was there, so I didn't really get to enjoy the fruits of Chicago.
Maybe
Yeah.
you enjoyed it a little too much.
I think that was the thing. That I never left my apartment really.
Oh.
And then my parents came up to Chicago and like literally yanked me out of Chicago and sent me to rehab.
Yeah.
So good times.
Well,
It was the
whatever
beginning
gets you
of-
there gets you there.
Exactly.
Right. It was
So-
the beginning of a beautiful journey, right?
So after Chicago, where did you end up in New York or?
I did. Well, I went to school in London at the London College of Fashion,
Okay.
and then, I did the thing I wasn't supposed to do.
Which is what?
The bead isn't on the.
That's okay. Just put it back on.
Yeah, so I went to school at the London College of Fashion, and then I moved back to Chicago because, as wonderful as the London College of Fashion was, I didn't feel like I had enough of a technical knowledge of fashion like that I figured would be necessary here in the States. So I went to a small technical school for fashion, which doesn't exist anymore in Chicago, and then I moved to New York. My move-in date was October 1st, 2001.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh. Okay. Do you remember your first address?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to say it?
My first address was, I think it was 1400 Franklin. It was in Hoboken, New Jersey.
Oh,
Oh,
plot
yes,
twist.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I had moved here, so like,
Yeah,
you know,
you can say New Jersey on the podcast. It's okay.
my husband's from New Jersey. I'm a big fan of New Jersey. The thing was though is that was 3 weeks after September 11th.
Right.
So I was super excited. I'd been wanting to move to New York my whole life, and then September 11th happened, and then I was like, is this like, am I gonna not be able to move there? And I had this friend from high school who was gonna be my roommate in Hoboken, and she called me on September 12th and was like, you are still moving here, aren't you? You signed a lease. So I was going to do it anyway, but I did. I moved to New York, and it was a very sad, scary time to be here. I had these dreams of Sex in the City when I decided to move to New York, and instead it was like really one of the most depressing places. There was still smoke in the air, and there were missing posters on all of the subway stations for the people that were, and I guess like at the time what I had been told is that anyone who had been found, they took their thing down. And because it had been 3 weeks, basically every picture that was still up was someone who had died. So it was a very, very sad
Somber.
time to be here. Yeah, somber. But you know what, the city was the people were in a very unique place. Everybody was so kind to each other and supportive of each other in a way that people don't think New Yorkers can be. But people were amazing, everyone. And that stuck with me. So I never was one of those people that moved to New York or that lived in New York and thought like everyone here is rude, because I know they're not. It's just, we're busy. We've all got stuff to do. And like, you know, it doesn't always require a 10-minute conversation to get a latte at Starbucks.
I completely agree. And I think there's 9 million people in a very small space.
Yeah.
And so I think because we don't have privacy and we don't have physical space,
Yeah.
I think that's why we want emotional space sometimes.
Totally.
And, you know, it's not rude, it's just being polite to give people that emotional space.
Yeah.
We don't have it in our apartments. We don't have it when we're out. We don't have it at a restaurant. That's just a luxury we do not have.
It's totally true. It's funny.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it like that, but that is exactly right. It's kind of like for your own mental sanity, you have to kind of like walk around in almost a bubble.
Mhm.
Like
Just detach a little bit.
Detach, and your engagements can't all be as much as you might want them to be. Like you can't engage with everyone in the same way because you'd never get through your day. You see so many people.
Is that why so many of us like the winter? Because it's like gives us an opportunity to just like hibernate and not have to talk to anybody.
Probably.
We're like, you know what? Can't do it. Like there's a snowstorm.
It's just
like,
too cold.
It's too cold. Can't talk. Gotta go.
I don't have any children, but I always thought it would be good to be able to have a child as your excuse out of things.
I have a dog. It works wonders.
Yeah. Gotta go walk the dog.
Yeah.
Well, that's why
literally.
COVID was the happiest time of my life, because I was like, oh, you know what? It's going to be a no for me. Yeah. For the next year, actually, it's a no for me. I was really happy. I mean, I in my non-COVID life, I'm never a canceler, but I secretly always want the other person to cancel.
Everybody
100% of the
does.
time.
That's why when you do cancel, it's like you don't really have to feel bad because chances are the person on the other end is thrilled.
Except when it's me and I actually want to go do something.
Well, it's like when you like
Okay,
when
noted.
you reconfirm with somebody. You're like, hey, I just want to reconfirm. Like, do you really still want to do this? Like, are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah. You know, because of the weather, I didn't know if you wanted to rain check it. And the person's like, you mean because it's 68 and sunny? Yeah, I didn't know.
It
If
says
you
it
wanted to, because of the weather?
It says it might rain.
Yeah.
No, that's not me.
You're
I'm excited for plans.
Because you're from California.
Yeah, it's true. You guys are just optimists. But I completely
Just the happy
agree with
people.
you about the overall unity from New Yorkers during 9/11,
times,
and you saw the exact same behavior with COVID as well.
Yeah.
We were the first ones to get it, so we were kind of the experiment. And I think people looking from the outside in probably expected it to just be social entropy. But like you said, what they don't know about New Yorkers is what happens when there's millions of A-type personalities with a lot of extra time. We really like mobilized and united and showed so much kindness and humanity that I was never prouder in my entire life to live here than then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was not in New York City when COVID struck. I was actually in Paris for work, and it was at the time COVID was primarily coming out of I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was really, really dominant in Milan. And I was there for Fashion Week, and I remember all of the people from the Paris Fashion Week takes place after the Milan Fashion Week. So all these people were coming from Milan, where it had been everywhere, and we were like kissing and hugging, hello, because it was like nobody
The European
knew.
thing to do.
Yeah, and no one really knew about COVID at all.
And you were kissing twice.
Double. That's right.
3 times.
Exactly.
Twice the risk.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I was very fortunate to have not gotten it. I spent the first 3 months of COVID in Miami,
Oh.
which as soon as we left, there was that massive outbreak there. It was really like, it was great because for the exact reason that you said, like there was like, you weren't obligated to plans. You didn't have to go anywhere. You didn't have to do anything. But then on the other side, it was also terrifying because you were like, but do I die in this, like luxuriating in this kind of time off? Is this also the time that I'm gonna get sick and die?
Wait, have we met?
Have you been reading Chris's diary?
Well, I lived in Miami for the last like 12 years essentially, and I was in Miami during the whole pandemic.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Where were you in Miami?
I lived everywhere. Everywhere from South Beach. Well, when the pandemic happened, I was I was in Austin, came back to Orlando, and then I went back to Brickell. And then I was in Brickell for the last like 4 years before coming back to New York.
Brickell is great.
Brickell's awesome. Loved it. Loved
Very
the fact
crowded though. I mean, that place is.
Yeah, but you don't realize it unless you have like, unless you're not living in Brickell and you don't have a parking spot, because then you're just like stuck in traffic all the time. But if you have a parking spot and you just go, you park the car, you walk wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, it is pretty.
I would spend too much time in the design district if I lived in Brickell. It would be dangerous. When do I put that silver thing on?
The halfway point. So
And where? Oh, like literally
So-
like the halfway
yeah,
of all
I
this.
go like
Whenever
this.
you feel like it's halfway.
Did you just do all of that?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
This is me purposely doing
What?
it
Oh,
slow,
you
though,
did it too.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But we've been doing
Chris
this.
already made 18.
I have no doubt.
Old nimble fingers over here.
So, when Chris and I moved to New York to bring State of Gratitude to the city full
we
time,
were already here.
well,
we just like realized that we were
move
like, oh
here.
shit, we should probably like live here if we're gonna be here all the time.
so we would watch Housewives, especially Dubai and Miami, and sit in
And
the
Sex and
living
the
room
City.
and Sex in the City,
Of course.
and just bead bracelets because it was just him and I.
During COVID.
Well, no, this is in 2024.
Well, I had a pretty eye-opening experience during my first holiday market.
Okay.
The first time I came to New York was for with the brand. Not the first time ever. I had lived here before, but like I came to New York to do the Bryant Park Holiday Market, and within a very short period of time, I had run out of both hoodies and bracelets. To the point where I was going home every single night, and I was beading bracelets until like 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And then I would take those bracelets with me to the shop, and people would buy them that day, and I'd be like, "Fuck!" And I have to go back and make more bracelets. And I'd go home, make the bracelets that had sold. I wouldn't even finish putting them out, and like somebody would come up and buy them. I'd just be like, "Ah, great!" And so like after that, I realized I was like, I can't just assume that like 200, 300 is going to be enough for this. I need to like really make sure that I'm preparing for this like all year round.
Wow.
To make sure that like I have enough when the holidays hit. Because like, there's something to it. Like there's something to the process of making it. There's something to the process of like making it by hand and like actually like being a part of it.
Yeah.
That is still like really important. And so yeah, Richard and I would just sit in the living room and we set little quotas for ourselves, and we were like, we need to make this many bracelets by this day. And I would yell at him, and he'd be like, "You're not making them fast enough." And he'd be like, "I'm trying," and I'm
Richard's fingers were bleeding.
Uh-huh.
I was mean. I was like, "Richard, you need to stay here. You need to sit here, and you need to bead bracelets until you hit 7."
But have you seen that man's hands? In proportion to the size of the beads?
Yeah, I am. He was already at a disadvantage considering the fact that, like, you know, he does have digits that are, how would you say this? Larger digits than
Size beautiful.
size
Yes,
beautiful.
exactly.
So I can understand. I mean, he has his strengths where I don't, and you know, beating he's gotten a lot better though.
Oh yeah,
He's gotten a lot.
Well,
better.
it's not
he's
my favorite thing.
No, but you're good. You've got like this massive amount on. I'm still like struggling with whatever.
Actually,
this is
for
why I
your
choose
first
this-
time, I think you're doing better than some other first timers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take
But this
that.
is also why I like to sit next to the guest and bead, so that way
You look better?
I always look better.
Oh, how nice. How generous of you.
So what made you like? When did you realize that like you wanted to do something in fashion?
It's funny. I actually just posted about that literally 2 seconds before I walked in the door here.
I saw. That's why I asked. Just kidding.
Well, the very first thing, it's the gayest story on the planet. The very first thing the very first time, that I knew that I wanted to go into fashion, I was watching My Fair Lady on television when I was 6 years old. And the ascot
Already love the story.
scene, yeah, and the ascot scene came on when Audrey was wearing that very large hat and the lace gown. And in that moment, I just like something came over me, and I started sketching dresses, like trying to sketch what I was seeing on TV. I'd never done that before in my life, but I felt compelled to do it. And I remember my grandma, may she rest in peace, my grandma Ruth, I called her so excited about these sketches that I had made, and she let me describe them in full detail to her. Patience of a saint. And that really was what started my journey. It would be a while before I would come back to that, but I think it started my love of fashion and my love of design and all of that.
It planted the seed.
It did. It planted the seed. And then I went to many schools. I started at the University of Arizona in Tucson, Arizona.
Ooh.
I was there for one semester. I partied really hard.
Yeah.
I joined, believe it or not, a fraternity, which is still something I can't believe I did, but yes, joined a fraternity. But very quickly I realized like this whole situation was not for me. Yeah, it was very much, for me, it was very much a situation. It's a great school. I'm not disparaging the school at all, but just, it wasn't for me.
It wasn't right for you.
It was not right for me. And also fraternity life was absolutely not right for me.
It's funny you say that because like when I went to Boston College and I lived with the same 8 guys like pretty much all 4 years. We all lived in the same hall together freshman year. And then we moved into an 8-man apartment our sophomore year. And then we all moved off campus together our junior year into a house with 8 bedrooms and like 2 bathrooms on top and 2 bathrooms on the bottom. And we kept that house senior year and basically like living in a frat house though.
I was going to say that is a frat house.
I mean, we weren't allowed to have frats because like Boston College is a Jesuit university, so we don't have fraternities or sororities on campus. But that's about as close as it gets. I mean, we all lived off campus our junior and senior year. I didn't mention this. It was because we lost our on-campus privileges.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
it was that kind of a situation.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Turns out lighting yourself on fire is frowned upon.
Yeah, right? On
Crazy.
a substance-free floor. I mean,
crazy.
I was like, I didn't ask to be here.
So after Arizona State?
University of Arizona in Tucson, I went to the University of Wisconsin, where all of my friends were.
In Madison?
In Madison. And there I proceeded to have a really good time. But then I had a friend who was going to Syracuse University, and she was studying fashion at Syracuse. And I was like, I was obsessed with talking to her about like what she was doing and what her classes were like and da-da-da-da. And she would say to me, Keith, why don't you just go into fashion? And I was like, that's not a thing. I can't just, people don't just go into fashion. It turns out that they do. And so I went and I bought myself a sketch pad and pencils. And I started sketching at 7 o'clock at night. And the next thing I knew, it was 7 o'clock in the morning.
Aww.
And I was surrounded by I was surrounded by sketches of all these different ideas that I guess had been circulating in my head. And I knew in that moment that this was the career for me.
Oh,
do you still have those?
Lovely.
I don't still have them, thankfully, because they were really bad. But nonetheless, so my friend she was studying abroad at the London College of Fashion. Why has this like stopped working for me? What am I doing wrong?
I never really went to Sobe Room that often.
Oh, okay.
I lived in Brickell, so like going over that bridge was like daunting.
Yeah, I get it.
I used to live on South Beach. So that was my first apartment living in Miami Beach was on South Beach.
Was that with Amanda?
Well, Amanda eventually moved into that apartment.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I actually have a roommate. My roommate in Miami, my last roommate in Miami, was one of my best friends who I had met at a gay circuit party on New Year's Day, like 12 years ago. And then we both like ended up living in Miami at the same time, hot mess expresses. And then when she graduated from law school, she needed to move out of like the apartment that she was in. I was like, just come stay with me. She ended up living with me for like 6-7 months in like a 350 square foot studio on South Beach.
Wow.
We fought 0 times.
Really?
We had the time of our lives.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like we realized at that point that like we just like we vibed on like a different level that like we just knew, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you could just get along with somebody under like any sort of circumstances possible.
And this is before you got sober. So
This
if
is
you,
before we got sober.
so she's sober as well.
The
So
things that we used to do in that apartment, if those walls could talk, they would
Oh,
scream.
Lord.
But
Let me
know
tell
what?
you.
It's like you can have some non-romantic soulmates, you know,
Yes,
and
yeah.
that could be one of them. Where those people, when you're around them,
Bring you joy.
there's so much ease.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know
Oh,
what?
there's
In whatever
for
capacity,
sure.
I will spend my life with you in some type of capacity.
Right.
That's the person that like you don't have to see too often or speak to too often, and when you see them, it's like you never
Missed and beat.
you're
Yeah.
still the same.
I mean, she's been, because then what ended up happening is that, like, I went on my own road, if you will, and then she went on her own road, if you will. And then, you know, she went to rehab first, and then I followed a couple years later. But, like, I called her a lot through that whole entire process to kind of, like, she was the only person that I knew at the time that was sober. So, like, it was the only person that I could put, like, a face to it. So I called her a lot, and then I convinced her to move to Miami. And then when she, after like her deciding that she was going to move to Miami, like about a month later, I was like, oh, I'm moving to New York.
Where was she before she moved to Miami?
Pennsylvania.
Okay, so she upgraded anyway.
Yeah, no, she wanted to come
It's not
back to
like you
Miami.
screwed her.
No, she wanted to come back to Miami. I just like.
it's not like he got her to go out to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
right?
like, hey, come move to Quebec or whatever.
Actually, that
Quebec
would
might be actually fun.
Quebec is lovely.
Edmonton.
There
or
you
like,
go.
Yeah.
Minsk.
Minsk.
Come meet me in Belarus.
Yes.
I do like Philadelphia, though. I have to say.
Oh, me too. Me too.
The city of brotherly love. My dad's from Philly.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Good cheesesteak.
I like.
Are you a cheesesteak person?
Of course.
Yeah.
I always like observing New Yorkers when they go to Philly for the weekend because they're like, oh, this is all the stuff we have, but easier and cleaner. Wait, I can do this. I can live here. Look at all this. And everything's to our pain in the ass standards. Great. And then by the time Sunday rolls around and you realize that the entire town is obsessed with sports, that's when the New Yorkers are like, oh, I gotta get
out of here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
They are. My dad is obsessed, and my brother is too with the
Eagles?
Yeah. Oh my God.
yeah, God forbid.
Anything
there
up
and
to
you
the
don't like-
Eagles. Go Birds. And I'm like, no, Dad, please stop. Don't do
Yeah.
it ever again.
That's why I'm so grateful to be married to my husband, because he actually keeps up with things sports related. So he can talk to my dad about sports, and he can talk to other people about sports, and I can just like,
Pretend
whereas I used to like, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but I used to feel like this pressure of like when someone would start talking about sports that I had to somehow know what they were talking about and like,
or know
try
what
to be-
sport it was at least.
or how the game was even played. Football still eludes me.
Really?
Um,
Well, at Boston College, I had to learn. It was like swim or be like eaten.
Yeah. Well, that was my problem. It was like I just never, no matter how hard no matter how much I wanted to know about sports so that I could participate in the conversation,
Vodka was
it
better
just
in a
never
way.
took.
No,
Yeah.
it's boring. Thankfully, I don't have that issue with my dad. My dad worked in fashion, and so
Oh, what did he do?
he's a powder maker.
Oh.
Yeah, and his story was kind of similar to the one you were saying with your friend, because he was a yellow cab driver, and sometimes when he would be waiting for a fare, if he was working like a night shift and stuff, he said it would be kind of lonely, and so to pass the time, he would do sketches on the hood of the car.
Wow.
And then he had tons and tons and tons. And so one of his passengers said to him, just like your conversation, you need to go to fashion school. And same thing, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, well, I have all of these. Let me look at what I have in the trunk. And he was like, these are amazing.
Wow.
And so my dad went to FIT, I think, right then and there.
Wow.
And, speaking about that kind of convergence of masculinity and fashion guys, he would also try to relate to the men in his neighborhood and sit there and watch football with them, but he was always kind of like making rosettes for a dress for me or something, like all the time. And they'd be like, you know, you're not paying attention. And he's like, I can't, this fabric's delicate. It's very fickle. So you are who you are, you know?
That's so crazy. I mean, like, it's interesting because it's like, I don't know how to make a tech pack. Like, I don't know. I didn't even know that there were different types of fabric to begin with. Like, when we first started with a t-shirt, I was like, can I make 100 t-shirts? And they're like, what kind of fabric do you want to use? And I was like, t-shirt fabric?
Denim t-shirts?
And so like, I'm jealous that that you had, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I fell into this, and like to have that like sort of background, I go backwards in a lot of ways. And it's like, okay, you know, you have the brand, now learn how to make the clothes. And I'm like, wait, what?
I mean, I remember that, but it also makes me completely unrelatable now, because I remember being like 7 years old and looking at the box of crayons and being like, I didn't start. I'm like, why? Like, you don't have the color I need. I'm like, why? It's like, it says purple, but I need a plum. You know, and that's how I was raised, talking like that. It's more of a buttercream, really. And then as you're, you know, an adult, people are like, what? You know, you're unrelatable. You're not a normal person if you talk like that.
That was the reason why I related to my grandmother so much, because in my family, fashion wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like part of our daily conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom is very interested in art, and she's a painter, but she was not. She also makes bracelets, actually, but she was not. Wasn't a fashion girly, and my father absolutely not. And my grandma, though, her and her mother owned a dress shop, like a high-end dress shop in Chicago.
Okay.
And so I used to hear, it had been closed by the time I was born, but I used to hear all of these amazing stories about this old world couture dress shop that they owned. And so that was where my imagination started running, was through those stories. I became obsessed with trying to track down this life that I knew that I needed to have. And I guess I did it.
The women of those generations really had such a love for details and a little extra accoutrement, the brooches,
Yes.
the pins,
Yes.
you know, the buttons, the
Gloves.
cuffs, the lady gloves,
Yeah.
the art of getting dressed in the morning.
Yeah.
There's always a little bit of whimsy and glamour to it. And I think when you add some of those extra details, you carry yourself differently out in the world.
Yeah.
So, which brings me to a question I'm very curious about, picking your brain. How do you think we can get America out of leggings and into start getting dressed to leave the house again? How do we get them out of leggings?
Well, here's the problem. As you see, I came here today in sweatpants and sweatshirts.
But they're not leggings. They're not leggings.
Let's not ostracise our base now,
I
people.
happen
But
to
they're not
love
leggings.
them. So, you know, I don't know. I don't necessarily know that there will ever be a day when that will happen. I think that, you know, that ship has sailed. It's funny though, because I make these AI videos that like a lot of them show fashion through the ages, starting back with like, you know, could be the medieval era or Renaissance or whatever, and then I bring it all the way up to today, and the comments are inevitably always about how disappointing the fashion we have today is compared to what it was like earlier on, which I understand that, for sure I understand that, but I think that's because the people that feel that way have never actually put on a robe a la Française, which is like a Marie Antoinette gown, and what pain and torture it was to actually wear one of those things.
Weren't they also like super like unsanitary and like?
Yeah.
they
Oh, I
caused,
mean,
People
like-
were fainting.
yes.
Well,
They used to carry the little nosegays, the little bouquets of flowers, so that they didn't have to smell each other.
I was watching an episode of The Gilded Age, and you know, it's set in New York. And I was watching it during the summer when it's hot, and you know, sometimes
Yes.
I'm walking around the city shirtless because especially if I'm on my bike.
I won't even.
I
go
also walk
outside.
around the city shirtless.
I won't go outside. I refuse to go outside. I'm like, if
So
it's-
I look at how they're
Nothing came of it.
dressed.
Yeah.
And how
And it
did
was
they
summertime. Yeah,
not melt?
they did.
they did.
Everybody smelled
There was a
No,
lot
no,
of sweat.
melt.
and smelled.
I don't think it was
Fast.
also as hot as it is. Maybe
That's
now.
true. But like,
No, I think it was just like
but
just
they also didn't have the
oppressive.
subway.
oppressive, and it was what it was just that's
You just
the way
dealt with
it was.
it.
You
Yeah.
just dealt with it. When you don't know different, I suppose that's the situation. Like you just kind of deal.
It's like Teddy. Teddy, my dog. He was born in the month of like the end of May, so I think he was basically like barely like cognizant of anything like during the whole entire summer. So he really was a puppy all winter. He's not really like the first day it was hot. The other day he was like, he was like trying to run inside every 5 seconds. He's like, "What is this? Why is it so hot out here? Where's the snow? Like I just want to run and jump in the snow."
Oh.
Aw. Yeah.
So how did you get started in your AI videos?
Okay, so I had been I was talking to a friend of mine who was basically advising very strongly that I learn how to use AI because it was going to take over my industry. And this was probably about 5 years ago. And I didn't want to do it. I really didn't like it. I was very uncomfortable by it. I didn't like the idea that there was this talk that it could do the designing for you and blah blah blah, and it was going to take over. But begrudgingly, I did understand on some level that was true. So begrudgingly, I started dabbling in AI for like the next 4+ years. And what happened was I actually loved it because, having worked in fashion for as long as I have, you design a dress and then you don't see that dress for months, maybe. Like it could be up to 2 months before you actually see the finished product. Whereas with AI, you prompt it to give you the gown that you want, and you have something that looks like the real thing in seconds.
Yeah.
And so that was deeply satisfying for me. And then I would also make
Instant
these
gratification.
Instant
gratification.
gratification. I would also make these homes that were like my dream house and
Oh, wow.
all these glass houses on a cliff overlooking the water kind of thing. And so I had fallen in love with it. And then Christmas, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, my husband and I were on our way to Florida, to Miami. And we were in the airport, and I was bored, and I was seeing on Instagram that everybody was posting these, Christmas wishes, Merry Christmas, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, I don't know where the idea came from, but I thought, well, what if I did an AI video of Christmas trees as if they were designed by different designers? So
Love it.
a Christian Dior Christmas tree, a Louis Vuitton Christmas tree. So I made it. It didn't take me very long. I made it and I posted it right before we got on the plane. Now,
Went
I
viral.
honestly thought that most of the people that looked at it would be like, what is this weird shit that Keith is on right now? And and everybody else would just ignore it. By the time the plane landed, and I had about 3,000 followers at the time. By the time the plane landed, it had been viewed like 125,000 times in 3 hours.
Wow.
And I'd obviously never experienced anything like that before. Now, here's the thing. 10 years before this all happened, I went to go see the top fashion recruiter in Paris. And she asked me what kind of jobs I wanted. And I told her, I said, these are the kind of jobs I wanted. And the very next question she asked me was, how many followers do you have on Instagram? Which at the time when I saw her, I think I had 700
What
followers.
year was this?
This was probably about 12 years ago.
So what was the job that you said
Wow.
that you wanted?
I was saying I wanted a creative director role
Okay.
at a company, which is still my dream. But that was the role that I wanted. And at the big fashion houses, you need to have some sort of notoriety. I guess this recruiter felt you need to have some sort of
It's
notoriety.
to be like Pharrell.
Yes. So although I do have to say, I think Pharrell is doing a very good job there. I was very hesitant to
I think most people were.
yeah, but I do think he's doing a good job. So anyway, lost my train of thought.
So
What
you
was I
were
saying?
you were talking to the recruiter. She
Oh,
asked
I
you
was
what
talking
kind
to
of
her.
job you wanted.
Yes, this is blah 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 blah. She says you're never going to get the jobs you want with your following on Instagram. So then I spent the next 10 years trying to build this like following on Instagram for one purpose and one purpose only, which was to get the jobs that I wanted. And so when this Christmas tree thing worked, I was like, well, I got to pursue this. Like, this is like, I'm getting all these followers and blah, blah, blah.
Like, now this is my ticket.
This is my opportunity. But then what happened is that I noticed that the comments I was getting were, especially I started making these AI videos about art coming to life. Like I went to the Met and I took pictures of the art and I brought the art to life. And this was before people were doing that. And the comments I was getting was about how happy it was making people to like watch it. And like people were literally coming out of the woodwork telling me that like my videos they had been suffering from depression and my videos were getting them, out of bed in the morning. And, I remember a woman from Israel told me that she was so sad about what was going on in Israel at the time. And this was the first thing that had made her smile. So like when I read those things, I was like, well, it was no longer about that job that I wanted. It became about trying to make people happy.
How did that make you feel then? Did you feel like more connected to what you were doing, or did you feel like it had taken kind of like a role of its own?
Well, it definitely took a role of its own.
Okay.
There's no question. Like it took on a life of its own, but at the same, and then I would tell myself, I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm not doing this anymore. And then a week would go by, a couple days would go by, and I'd be like, oh, I have a great idea for a video. So, I don't know.
Do you still do it?
I do, yeah. I still do it. Although now I do more, my videos are segueing into me talking about fashion from the past and artists from the past, really. Because I noticed that a large portion of my following loves to hear about art and culture. So, which is great because that aligns with me. And that's why I posted that thing today, because yesterday I hit 400,000 followers on
Congratulations.
Instagram. Thank you, which was a huge, it's just a huge number. I don't know that it's like such an accomplishment for me anymore. Like, but I think I'm just so flattered that so many people care about what it is that I want to talk about. Mm-hmm. So, or focus on. So, anyway, I don't know where all that was going.
I mean, like it's definitely validating, to have, your voice is heard and it's resonating with people, and your message is helping others. And I think to me, like from what you just said, that's kind of like what I would take from it. It's like you're helping other people and you're giving other people a reason to like, to smile, to do something, to like, to wake up, to like, push forward, to move forward.
Yeah.
And that is beautiful. Like it's very admirable in a lot of ways.
It was never anything that I had set out to do at all. Like it was not part of the idea behind it. It was just because I thought it was funny to watch these AI, like art come to life and all of that. And I love art. So, but then it did become about bringing people joy in a way that I never thought I could. I never thought I had the ability to affect people in that way. That's the reason why I also love bridal is because, and wedding in general, is because it's an opportunity to actually bring people some joy, like really bring people joy. And fashion doesn't always have a real way of doing that. So when I would design a dress or work on a dress and I would see the person wearing it smile and really genuinely from their heart, you could see that they were happy, like that made me feel fulfilled.
Right.
And I didn't realize that at the time, but then when this all thing started happening with the AI, I connected the dots and I was like, oh, I like making people happy. Like that's really, making somebody smile is such a huge accomplishment today.
It's crazy how much, like,
because we're all so scared most of the time these days. And I think it's like, if you can bring somebody even just a second of relief from the fear of what's happening in the world today, like that's just as powerful as protesting or doing anything else.
So it's interesting that through the convergence of fashion and art, you brought all these people joy. That's kind of how you're being of service, in this life. That's your gift. And I think a lot of times when we think of living a life where we, help others, sometimes we think kind of binary about it, where maybe we have to be a social worker and we have to or something in that
It has to look a certain
regard.
way.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe it's you have to help ameliorate something that's bad. But in your case, it's not just taking away something that's bad; it's actually bringing something that's good. And sometimes it's just as simple as art.
It's amazing to me how simple the solution actually is. It seems so just like
Occam's razor.
It seems so. What is it?
Occam's razor.
I don't know what
That's
that is.
the theory of how the best solution is the simplest, and it's usually right in front of you.
Oh, yes.
We overcomplicate things and make them more complicated than they need to be.
And you said that's Occam's razor?
Yes.
Okay, because I want to be able to say that and sound smart at some point in time.
Well, you got the
Occam's
glasses. People are
razor.
just going to assume. you're
Yes,
smart.
they do. They assume I'm smarter
Yeah.
than I am when I'm wearing the glasses.
Bigger the glasses, bigger the brain.
But that is really that is something that I cherish, is being able to be of service. I wake up in the morning and I pray. That's kind of my general routine. And I always ask God to help me to be of service, to help me be a kind person, to help me be a good person, to help me be of service to others. And I really do believe that this, in a sense, is my prayer being answered, that I can actually do that. So, and that's all, all of that is tied back to my sobriety, which is a huge part of my life and a very important part of my life.
So,
And I would have none of what I have today if it wasn't for that.
Interesting. So you don't think you would be able to be of service if you were not sober?
No, definitely not. I was of service to one person and one person only.
Got it.
And that was me. No, I definitely don't think that I would. I don't even want to think about where I would be in the world if I hadn't gotten sober. But it definitely, every single good thing that has happened to me in my life since I got sober is a direct result of my sobriety. Like, I can literally trace it back, including my job with Vera Wang for the past 14 years. Like, that was a connection. I came in through a connection of a friend who was sober also and knew that I was looking for work. My husband, I met him in AA. So there's all of the big things. I have a great relationship with my family today, which I'm so blessed to have.
Yeah,
and that's all a
course.
result, as you know, so these things are blessings.
Did the choice to go to fashion school happen after you got sober or before you got sober?
Before.
Okay.
Before. But, the crazy thing is like, I had this job, right, that was like a dream job, and I wasn't sober yet. And I resented the job because it was getting in the way of
Doing what you wanted to do.
doing what I wanted to do.
Of course.
And I knew inherently in that moment that there was something wrong. Like this dream this goal that I had, this dream that I had set out to achieve, I was actively achieving it, and it didn't mean anything to me. And that scared me.
Yeah.
So that was also a big catalyst. Excuse me. Yeah. And then I started my own brand before I got sober, and that wasn't good either.
What was the brand?
It
What
was
like?
called. It was just my name. It was a designer collection, and
State of ingratitude.
yeah, literally.
Okay.
But the brand was a ready-to-wear. It was meant to be a ready-to-wear collection, but I really wasn't prepared at all. I had absolutely no. I had no insight into what it was to be an independent designer working for yourself, especially in that field. So I had to teach myself everything, and it was essentially the most expensive lesson I ever learned. My father helped me subsidize it. My sister helped me subsidize it. Like these, without them, I would never have been able to achieve what I've done today, because even though it didn't work out, it was all an amazing lesson for me. It was a very expensive education. So that business, I started it right before I got sober. That was not good. Then I got sober, and the whole foundation of it was just a mess because I had started it before I should have started it. And so I was never able to get it to kind of get any sort of momentum. And then 2008 happened, which put everybody out of business, and that was the kind of final nail in the coffin of my brand. And shortly thereafter is when I went to go work for beer.
So we like to do a segment here called Ungrateful Confessions. Basically, we open the room to talk about things that are kind of like bothering us today and just get it off our chest, get it out into the open, so then that way we can move on.
Oh, this is dangerous.
So
It's a judgment-free zone.
Right. I mean, in a good way. So I think I have one right off the bat. I've been walking the dog a lot lately, and I've been trying to walk him longer because it's getting nicer out sometimes. And there's just like so much trash everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's due in large part to the fact that like we had so much snow on the ground that now that the snow is all melted, it's just like, do we really have to be that disgusting? Like, pick up after yourself. Like, and if the trash can is full, like by the corner, like of the sidewalk, bring it into your apartment and put it in your trash can, and then like take it to the trash bag. Like, there's so many other options. You don't have to like pile trash on top of trash on top of trash on top of trash, or like throw it on the side of the street. It's almost like some people just took like a trash bag and they were like, I don't know where to put it, and so they just like rip the bag open and just dump it on the ground.
Sometimes what I see, I'm actually so shocked where I'm like, oh, I thought I've seen it all, but apparently not. And I'll take pictures of it and I'm like, mornings in Brooklyn or like, Bushwick mornings. And I'm like, so there's just a diaper with a chicken wing in it? Okay. How?
How does it happen?
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
I have 2 dogs, and when you have dogs in this city,
They
you
wanna
discover
eat
how many
everything.
chicken
Oh,
wings
yeah.
are on the ground.
Oh,
chicken
yeah.
bones are on the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah,
How
yeah.
are there so many chicken bones on the ground?
And who are the assholes that are not picking up their fucking chicken bones? Like, throw them in
Yeah.
the trash can for Christ's sakes. It's like,
There's no, better metal detector than your dog.
oh my God.
Because my dog, when we walk, will be like, oh, I'm not interested in going to the dog park. No. I would love to just hang out by that greasy dumpster. If we can just hang out there for a bit, that's great for me. And I'm like, it is, buddy.
There's a big puddle of urine that I need to go stick my nose
Yeah.
in.
Just investigate it just for a little bit.
Yeah.
Is
no.
that shit?
Yeah.
I think I need to taste it.
Yeah.
100%.
He's like, oh, vomit on a dead rat? Let's go see what it's about.
Those are the moments when you remember that your dog is not human.
Yeah. But also,
And then Teddy just comes walking out from underneath the table. He's like,
like,
"You are
how
talking
dare
about me."
you.
He talked about all my favorite things right now.
yeah, exactly. He shows up. Did someone say rat?
These
What
are
is
my
he
grateful
eating?
moments.
Yeah.
As he literally picks up something off the ground, then I'm like, what is he eating right now?
But maybe that's just slowly inoculating us and it's making us so much stronger and our constitutions and immune system is just indestructible.
I actually don't disagree with that. We let our dogs sleep on our bed, and I
Same.
think that is really helping my immune system.
If you don't, you're abusive. If you don't let your dog sleep with you, I need to call on you for neglect.
So
Child Protective Services. They're like, this is not an animal. I'm like, well, the hell it is.
Look at Richard. Richard is like,
No, not in my bed.
no.
Really?
white women being white women again, saying their crazy stuff with their dogs.
No, that's the worst. The thing I hate about sometimes dating people is going over to their house and they have a dog that sheds, especially like white hair,
Yeah.
and they expect you to sleep over and it's covered in dog hair.
That's gross.
Yeah, you
I
should make
wouldn't
people
like
fill
that
out a
either.
questionnaire then before you even get over there. Be like, do you have a dog?
Oh,
Maybe
I
your
stalked
dog
their
shed.
Instagram.
Ah.
So, but if it's one of
Maybe
the
you
dogs
can't
like
see their bed
Teddy,
on Instagram.
a dog like Teddy, since he's hypoallergenic, I don't mind. He
But
doesn't.
Teddy
shed.
still, like, every time I get home, I always like wash his paws because like he kicks off his little booties, like the little like balloons that you can put over their feet, and next thing you know, as he's walking around right now, because Brooklyn is filthy, his paws are black after like 5
Well,
minutes.
it rained.
I drove.
I
Like,
don't know.
Well,
what
that's
to
also when
tell
I
you.
see people walking around barefoot.
Oh,
Ew,
who's doing
what?
that?
And these aren't people who are unhoused. These are people that clearly are coming out
I
of
have
their
never seen
gone
that.
I
for
hope
runs.
they step in a puddle that is filled with electricity.
That's no joke. There's biohazards out there. Like they could get MRSA. Like that's like a fatal mistake.
I've seen.
Well, there's
people
puddles
go-
that literally have electricity running through them
That
and they can
too.
electrocute you.
That's actually an even better point.
Right.
So let it just be known that when I say that my dog sleeps with me in my bed, I also, when
Yeah.
We come back from a walk, sits down, I do the scrub down, I give him a quick thing with the wipes, and then, I'll have a little bottle that's like diluted Dr. Bronner, some witch hazel and water, squirt the wipe. So he's good.
That's fine.
That
He's
is
good.
so much. I'm like, my dogs are raw dogging it in the apartment.
You live in Manhattan. I live in Bushwick.
Trust me, it's no different.
I mean, as somebody who literally comes out here every single day, it's different.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
It's just like so much. Like I'm just like, why?
Like the
Why?
diaper chicken wing thing wasn't me being funny. That was
Oh
reality.
no, yeah, for sure. I do know that for sure.
It's just it is an extra level of trash, and I'm just like, why? What is so different between the two? Like in terms of like the humans, that just like makes
No, it's a tax bracket.
Yeah, but I mean, like at the same time, like, I mean, everybody eats chicken wings at some point or another, right?
Sure, but it's about when the Department of Sanitation comes, and also basically how many residents are in one building. So,
Yeah, but
with the socioeconomic factors involved,
education levels?
a
and then-
Bushwick
yes.
building might have significantly more people living in it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I still give you credit for cleaning the paws because
Thanks.
yeah, it's dirt. Dogs are dirty.
Yeah.
Do you allow shoes in your house?
Absolutely
No.
not. Absolutely not.
See, I
Take
do
them
that.
off.
I mean, in
do that.
Miami, I didn't really care.
Oh yeah, when I lived in Austin, I didn't care.
New York is different. Shoes off, unless I'm having like.
I was gonna say if you're having a party.
I
is
was
it
literally
shoes
gonna say
off?
if I was having a party, I would not make people take off their shoes.
No, of course, because the shoes are part of the look.
Well, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm talking about, though. That's why I want to know.
No, you don't
No.
make people take off their shoes when
Yeah.
you're having a party.
No, then you have a Sex and the City situation. It
Yeah.
might be me
Yeah.
stealing someone's shoes, depending on, those are size 10 and a half, 11.
And also, you can't be at your best meeting strangers in your socks. It's just too humbling.
I have.
I can't.
You had socks on?
He only had socks on.
I mean, if you want and that's why you didn't get invited back to the Cruises party.
All right.
Actually, I would be like, that's why you are getting invited back to the Cruises party.
What's your
I ran out of-
ungrateful?
I need silver thread.
What is my ungrateful? Oh, my ungrateful is I take the subway, and I pay to take the subway, and every time I go to get on the subway, at least 3 or 4 people jump the turnstile, and I'm like, so I have to pay, but you don't have to pay?
You don't have to pay.
Of course I don't have to pay, but I'm an upstanding citizen of, I
You're a
understand
Midwestern. You don't live like that.
Do
Yeah.
you remember when somebody jumped in the turnstile with me after I had paid and I got the ticket?
An employee of ours.
You got the ticket?
Yeah.
Yes.
Game see game. Wow.
Wow.
That is so
I was like,
funny.
wait, why am I getting the ticket?
That's amazing.
And it was an ex-employee of ours at the time.
Yeah, I was so mad. He's like,
There
I'm probably
are
fired.
some
Am I? And I'm like,
people- There are some people where, of course, it's like if you can't afford transportation and there's no way for you to get around otherwise.
they have their social services in place that like literally will give you a Metro card for free.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, but if you sometimes navigating that system can
I-
require a lot, and not everybody
Okay.
has that kind of developmental
Capacity?
capacity.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So
But anyway, that is my my gripe. And then my other ungratitude is when they run out of peppermint at Starbucks.
I was just saying when they run out of pistachio.
Because of my favorite drink from them is to get a short oat milk peppermint mocha.
Okay.
And inevitably toward the end of the holidays they stopped carrying the peppermint, and I get very resentful about that.
If it was me making it, you'd just get a latte.
No, I'm the worst when it comes to those things, because if I'm going to Starbucks, I don't want a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I want like some
something like
mocha
extravagant.
chocolate.
decadence. Yeah.
Like I want to know that I'm like that it's too many calories and it's going to taste like a milkshake.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the best. Like the
Dubai.
Dubai matcha.
Chris and I were-
Why anything?
We were on a cruise, and normally when I go to Starbucks, I just get the cold brew. But every day on the cruise, I got the Dubai the matcha
It's so good.
because it has pistachio, it has the Dubai chocolate. I was like, I'm going to drink this every day.
I had diarrhea for like 5 days straight.
That was seasickness, not.
I didn't need to know that.
We're gonna edit it out.
You're done, aren't you?
I think I'm done.
You are?
Oh my god.
Yep,
Wow.
you did it.
Oh wait, maybe I didn't.
No,
There's
no.
a negative space.
Well, because
there.
we need space up here for tying
Here,
it.
I will take it from
Yeah,
here.
no, that's great. So you said that your followers really enjoy the historical different eras of fashion. What is your favorite era?
Visually, I think my favorite era is Rococo. I think that's the whole kind of Marie Antoinette vibe. So I think visually it's that. But then I do love the 60s, the kind of mod 60s, because it was so futuristic looking in a way. A lot of it, the Pierre Cardin and all that. So yeah, I would say that. What's yours?
Well, I mean, when I didn't realize until you started talking, and I was like, oh, I think I want to dress like I'm in a Bob Fosse video. I think I would like that.
That's a good look.
I also love boxy men's suits. So even just like a Bianca Jagger disco kind of
So chic.
suit. I love a nice blazer with nothing underneath it. But that kind of is every era.
Yeah.
Teddy.
That's all I'm thinking of right now. Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I'm like the worst. I wouldn't even know how to begin to answer that question because I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we should do a little styling where based on you and what you look like and your vibe, what we think would look best on him.
I mean, I just like I'm very like I don't know. I'm very much just like a sweatpants, sweatshirt, overcoat. Like,
You look great in the overcoat, though.
Yeah, I love a good overcoat with like a nice hoodie underneath and like just like some really like tailored sweatpants or joggers, like the ones that we made, and then like high socks that kind of like go over top of the joggers and like some white sneakers. Like
An overcoat over a monochromatic set. I love that.
yeah,
Same.
Yeah.
With the hood coming out.
Yeah.
I always love that.
Oh, guys, have you heard about? I don't even know if you want to call it a trend or just a kind of a style hack, but it's called the wrong shirt, and it's kind of a style hack that you do with leisure wear.
Okay.
So you would do like a very neat matching set, and then underneath it you put an oversized striped poplin collared button down.
I did that like 3 days ago with a Scotch and soda. It was a cropped Scotch and soda hoodie, and I wore a super oversized T-shirt underneath it, so the T-shirt came off the bottom like really really heavy, and then my joggers, and then and then an overcoat over top of it because everyone loves an overcoat.
Yeah.
If you look amazing in it, then why would you stop wearing them?
Yeah, you look very good in the overcoat.
So let's measure that one out.
Okay.
What's yours?
Yeah, let's do yours first.
Where did this evil eye come from? Nobody told me about an evil eye.
We have so many secrets. Just like
yeah.
He needs
tucked
the
away.
protection. You don't.
Oh,
I don't know.
I do.
Like Chris, I wear.
Not what you wear.
No,
What is
I mean
your
it's like,
favorite era
but that's the
of fashion?
thing is I don't really know.
Okay.
era of fashion.
Like I couldn't tell you what era.
I like to pull things from different places. I mean, like one of the things that I've always wanted to make, I've always wanted to do like a pattern block of like a windbreaker kind of thing. You know, I thought that would be like really cute.
I do like
Old
seeing
school jerseys.
pictures of like guys from like the 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, men in the early '80s were
Especially
stunning.
like what's his name? With the mustache.
Tom Selleck.
Yes.
I have a club
May
called
he-
TSOS. It's the Tom Selleck Appreciation Society.
Are we
It's
still?
me and my two best friends, and we get together once a year and talk about how hot Tom Selleck was in the '80s. That's it.
Are we still allowed to talk about him?
Why?
Why?
Is Tom Selleck the one that was what is he from?
Magnum PI. He wore the short shorts in the '80s.
Okay, who's Mr. Big?
Oh, Christopher
no,
knows.
that's
Oh,
Christopher.
no.
No.
Edit that out.
Not the same.
Unanimously.
Yeah.
That was a
Tom Selleck.
no-brainer.
Oh, he's in Law and Order.
Who is?
Okay, Blue Bloods.
Yeah.
Blue Bloods.
Yeah, he's an oldie.
Yes.
He's an oldie but goodie now.
Yeah.
But in his day,
In the
Christopher
head.
Nolan? Is that who we're talking about?
no,
No.
it's Tom Selleck still.
Oh, Tom Selleck. Oh,
Yeah.
he's on.
Blue Bloods.
I didn't. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the chief or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't watch a whole lot of television. I mean,
Apparently.
I watch like. Thanks. I watch a lot of Modern Family.
You do?
A lot of Modern Family.
That's so funny. I always say that my family's like Modern Family.
Same.
Oh, it is.
Because my mom is from Colombia. My dad is
Oh.
American.
Oh.
My cousins live right down the street from us. And like, I'm gay. My cousin Kristen is like, you know, we were like a year and a half, 2 years apart. Like, grew up together. So it's like, there's so many dynamics like in that family that exist in real life in mine
Mhm.
that it's like, it's crazy watching the show. I'm just
Do you
oh my
like
God.
watching it?
I love it. It's great. It reminds me a lot of like, you know, the way that I grew up, like in a lot of different ways. You know, my mom having to like explain all the Colombian traditions to my dad all the time, and like my dad's
Like
like,
what?
oh, I don't know, and you're just like,
Like what?
like, you know, the color of underwear that you wear, you know, like on New Year's Eve, or like the fact that you have to like run around the block like carrying empty suitcases because you want to travel a lot that year. Like, and my dad's like, why are we doing this? And it's like, just shut up and do it. Or like you like blow up this like life-size doll that's like shaped like a human.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and you hold it like año viejo and like año nuevo, so like the old year, and you blow it up, and then
You blow up a human-shaped
doll
doll?
that's stuffed with fireworks.
Wow. Well, fireworks I knew from Modern Family. That fireworks
do
is
the
a
same
Colombian,
thing.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, they do it in the
Part
show.
of Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I like comfort television because I find so much of what goes on in the world today is so alarming
Have
that I need to escape and watch things
Something
that
funny.
don't make me think.
I can't watch anything. I don't like watching scary movies. I don't like, you know, dramas, or like I don't need that. Like
Yeah.
I want to be taken or like transported to a place that's gonna make me smile, that's gonna make me laugh. Maybe like your Instagram page, or like, you know.
Come join me on my Instagram page.
Or the Great British Bakeoff.
never
Oh,
seen that
that's
show.
always a good one. The Great British Bakeoff was, that was.
The pastel color palette of the whole tent. Yeah.
But also like that it's not, you know, American like food any sort of reality competition in America is like vicious. Like everyone's out to kill each other. It's like life or death.
Good.
But like I don't like that at all. And so that's why I liked the British Bake Off, because they're all so nice to each other.
They are.
It's
They
like
are.
if somebody's having a hard time with something, they all like chip in and help.
Okay,
Sure.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you could be on any reality show, what would it be?
Great British Bakeoff.
You'd be on that show?
Oh yeah, because also the Brits don't seem to do peanut butter, so I would just swoop in with chocolate banana peanut butter and win.
Yeah, but you know what though? I don't think they actually like it, because they've had to have tried it kind of like in the way that like we don't like Vegemite, but like
Yeah.
the Australians love it.
Could it be?
Huh?
I thought that was a part of the human experience,
No.
loving peanut butter.
A lot
don't
of people
think so.
don't like it.
Wow.
Teddy doesn't even like peanut butter.
Wow.
Oh,
So
really?
You'd
Yeah.
lose instantly.
Wow,
Maybe.
that's wild.
Maybe.
That's our vehicle for pills for our dogs. Peanut butter.
Yeah, right. It's easy. It's an easy sell.
I think also the reason why that they're so nice in that show is because of how the producers edit it. They don't create the narrative of someone's the snake, someone's the drama queen, someone's the this, you know?
That is 100% the case.
Where they literally go behind the scenes and they're like, yeah, so Susan called you a bitch. Yeah, what are you gonna do about that? Yeah, she said that your creme brulee tasted like ass. I would take her sugar and switch it with salt.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's just
Shady.
me.
The best part about the Great British Bake Off contestants is when they show a little backstory into their their personal life, and they always have the cutest little niche hobbies. Every one of
Yeah,
them.
I know.
And it's like, and Matilda loves to create miniature houses, and then she places them in the forest for passerbys to enjoy. I'm like, oh, like every person is just darling.
What if you found out that all these were actually like fake backstories?
Oh, I would feel so betrayed.
So betrayed.
She's like, Matilda's actually like out back, and she's like, What do you want?
Matilda's a dominatrix.
She's like actually from like New Jersey and like just like smokes packs of cigarettes every single day. And
I would
just,
have
like,
recognized the jersey. She wouldn't have been able to fool me. Yeah, I would have known.
It makes me very hungry watching that show.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I don't think you could pay me to be on a reality TV show.
No, not even one.
No,
I grew up watching like Survivor and like The Amazing Race, you know. And like if I had the opportunity to be on either one of those shows, like
You'd do it.
I would do it.
You would do so well in The Amazing Race.
Yeah. I think I would do really well. I have a really good sense of direction.
And also, you don't realize it, but while we're talking, he's made 18 bracelets with his feet. He just had like an octopus, so there's just things being made all the time. So what's yours, Richard?
For
The reality show.
For what?
reality show. Of course, I would love to be on one of the Housewives, like Miami, just a guest, or like, or not even like just a friend of.
Mm-hmm.
So I can pop in, go to like the events with them, see the drama firsthand. But
Be the drama.
yes, start the drama. But used to watch The Amazing Race with my dad and sister. I would do that. That'd be fun.
I would definitely do that. Or even that show, like the Korean show.
Squid Games?
Oh,
No.
oh
Where
my
you
God.
die?
I mean, like in the game show that they have on Netflix, they're not killing the people.
Oh, do they have a?
Yeah, they have one.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. I thought there was just the show.
No. There's an
Okay.
actual like real game show now.
Uh-huh.
So what happens in the moments when in the real show you would have died? What, you're just out?
You're just out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They cut off their leg or something.
It's minimal.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
a minor
They pull out a
amputation.
fingernail.
Yeah. They have to make it realistic, you know?
I mean, who wants to watch it if it's not?
I'm like, why are they still breathing?
That's not how this is all supposed to go.
So I guess like one last thing that we can probably just kind of like close out with, would love to know like, you know, what does like gratitude mean to you? You know, we've talked so much about like our life and our journey and how you've kind of come from like point A to point B, and you talked about like your Instagram page and how that brings other people joy, which is beautiful. I want to know like what does gratitude really mean to you? Like how do you live in a state of gratitude on a daily basis?
Well, I would be lying if I said I did. I definitely do not.
It's real life, you know?
Yeah, I try my hardest to remember how much I have to be grateful for, because there is so much in my life: my husband, my dogs, my family, my parents, my siblings. You know, there's a lot of my friends. There's a lot of great things in my life. So I try to stay present to that. I think ultimately the thing I'm the most grateful for is my sobriety. That's something else that's like a really huge one for me. And obviously in sobriety, gratitude is a huge part of that. So I try to I get a good reminder of being grateful through that. What gratitude means to me, I guess, is just being present to the blessings in your life, whatever they may be. Whether that's like walking into Starbucks and they happen to have my peppermint mocha,
Or pistachio.
or pistachio, or going to, just being able to spend. I just spent some time in Arizona with my parents, and like that made me very happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's like what I'm gathering is like it's the small moments, it's the little things. It's not necessarily like the big, careers and the big, the money, the house, the cars. It's not the materialistic things. It's the time that you spend with loved ones. It's, waking up in the morning and your dog or your son or your daughter like come and like give you a hug and say like good morning. It's like the little things that kind of like drive a lot of us in a lot of different ways. It's Teddy running up and jumping on my lap. It's like those things are cute. And I love those, and I get it.
Yeah. That's very good. That's a very nice way of putting it. And I think that, everyone thinks that the money and all of that stuff is, and don't get me wrong, if somebody decided to hand me like, a couple $1 million today, I wouldn't turn it down.
Yeah, I'd be very
grateful.
Yeah, and I would gratefully accept.
If anybody out there wants to give me $1 million, I would be very
Yes.
grateful.
Same.
Like,
You could
my Venmo is.
hopefully by the time this airs,
Yeah. So but I think that ultimately at the end of the day, and I've witnessed this firsthand, money is not the thing that brings people happiness.
No.
I've known a lot of very unhappy, very wealthy people, and I've known a lot of very happy, not so wealthy people. I think it is because ultimately, like, our life's journey, I believe, is to do with love. Somehow love is the main core, I believe, as to why we are here. And that's not something money, an inanimate object can't provide that.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless, of course,
Your Ariana Grande.
you do use money as a way to, like, abundance is forgiving.
Yes.
My partner and I always talk about, like, when people want money for the right reasons, or like when wealth is in good hands.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh, actually, I very much want to be wealthy myself. Like, I would very much want to be wealthy. And immediately there would be scholarship funds set up. There would be like
Melinda
sanctuaries
Gates.
set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, right away. And I would be left with nothing, and I'd be so happy. And on my deathbed, I would not be like, I just wish I made X thousand more. You know, on my deathbed,
Yeah.
I'd probably remember, you know, the sound of a friend's laugh or something.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
All the people that you made smile.
Yeah.
That is, I always think, I find it when you ask somebody what they would do if they won the lottery, most people you ask, they immediately go to talking about the people that they would give money to
Yes.
in their life. And that to me I think that speaks volumes, because ultimately at our core, I think there's a goodness there, that's our knee-jerk reaction. And it does genuinely, like, when I think about it, I'm like, if I won the lottery, I would give my parents this much, and I would give my siblings this much, and, you know, blah, blah, blah.
What's
I would
interesting
be
is-
happy. I'd buy a house, I'd buy a boat.
Oh, I would
I'd
do those things.
I would spend it all and leave nothing to nobody else. Just kidding.
It's interesting that you said that basically you think happiness comes down to love, and you have built your life in the industry that is about love and romance. Like, you are in bridal. That is a huge lifetime celebration of love at its most grandiose way. So yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that love is your purpose for happiness, and you found a way to build a life about love.
Thank you. I love that. I love that.
I love it too.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for being here, Keith.
Thank you.
And we look forward to having you again in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you